Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second semester. All right, so the subject is on practical research, and we are going to have the qualitative research type. Some of you, or most of you, have already encountered research when they were grade 10, and they also have finished their researches from chapter 1 to chapter 5. So, for those who have experienced or have encountered the research subject, I'm expecting much from you. All right, so we start from our week one. So our week one, we are going to discuss here the different characteristics of research. All right, so from the first part of your module, you are going to read that one. However, I'm going to discuss only the essentials. First, we discuss the characteristics of good research. All right, so the first one is it is realistic because it requires you to gather data and obtain as much information about the area. Of course, when you research, you have to gather data. You don't have to, you just don't have to interview, but you have to gather much data and obtain as much possible information about your area or about your topic. Research is also analytical because it is conducted in a scientific, systematic, and structured manner using the standard methods. Okay, so when we say scientific, it is based on the scientific approach in which we are going to follow the scientific method in research. It is also systematic because you are going to follow some rules, and it's structured because you are going to follow some guidelines in making your research. Okay, and those are according to standards. All right, so another one is results are validated accordingly. So you cannot publish your research unless it is also validated from an expert or by an expert. Next, research provides possible solutions to real-world problems and offers potential technological advancements and developments. So when we say possible solutions to real-world problems, when you were in grade 10, your topics was all about or were all about or were mostly about solving real-world problems, okay? So when you research, this is one of the goals. Next, research offers practical, innovative, and novel solutions and contributions to different bodies of knowledge. So you don't have to focus on just one area, but you are going to innovate some ways in which you are going to contribute solutions to certain problems. A research is a scholarly work as it follows the highest ethical standards. So hindi puchi-puchi ang research, no? So in research, you're going to follow standards which meet the expectations and the guidelines in making a good research. All right, so we proceed to the characteristics of research. The first one is empirical. Okay, so when we say empirical, it is not based on or it is based on direct experience or observation. Collection of data relies on practical experience without benefit of scientific knowledge or theory. It uses facts and data that are obtained through a thorough investigation. All right. Okay, so we resume. So when we say empirical, this is based on your own experiences or observation to your subject matter, right? So the data that you collect will serve as your basis in concluding results, okay? So the next one is what we call the systematic approach, based on valid procedures and principles done in an orderly manner and follows a certain method or procedure to obtain objective results. Okay, so when we say systematic, you are going to follow some guidelines. For example, you are going to distribute questionnaires, conduct experiments. Yeah. So when you conduct experiments, you are doing a certain method or procedure in obtaining objective results. So when we say objective, it is based on facts. It is based on the scientific procedure. Okay, so unlike empirical, you are only basing it on your own experience or observation. The next one, we have the next characteristic, which is cyclical. So when we say cyclical, it starts with a problem and ends with a problem. In the recommendation, many problems will crop us as other subjects for study. Hence, the cycle is repeated. Okay, so I would like to give an example. For the researches that were conducted last year, there were many recommendations that were given after the presentation or after they have defended their researches. So those recommendations will serve as further improvements or further recommendations for improvement, which will be improved when they will again conduct their researches. Okay, so cyclical in a way of that the research is not being completed or it needs further investigation. So hence the cycle is repeated. The next one is analytical. So when we say analytical, it utilizes proven analytical procedures in gathering data. The researcher carefully analyzes and interprets the gathered data before arriving at a conclusion. So when we say analytical, it uses mathematical solutions or analytical procedures so that the data will be computed or will be concluded objectively. A certain example here is when we use tools, okay? When we use as tools, for example, we are going to use the mean, right? So this is an example of a computation, but since our subject is on since we focus on qualitative research, we don't have to use these analytical procedures. The next one is original. Any research output is a product of novel ideas and shows originality. So this is where you conduct research with originality, not basing on other researches. So if you have an idea in mind that is very unique, then you should push that one. All right, so this is very important. This is the most important part. You have to know the different processes of research. So later on, I'm going to give you an example. But first, we are going to discuss the different processes. The first one is that you have to define your topic. Okay, so first in defining your topic, because your chosen topic will directly affect the research process. Okay, so this will be your main objective. Okay, so when you define your topic will guide you throughout your research process. And your other aspects of the other aspects that you write will only be based in the topic that you have defined or will be only be narrowed to the topic that you have defined. The next one is that you are going to write your problem statement. So when you write your problem statement, this problem statement should reflect the topic that you wrote. Okay, so what is the importance of writing your problem statement? Your problem statement contains questions that should be answered at the end of your research study. So this will be your guide in writing your research because all of the aspects that will happen or that will go through your research will be based on your problem statement. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of a problem statement later on. The next one is you have to make an outline. Okay, so your outline is your draft of your research. So your outline can be started with your introduction and in your review of related literature. So in here, you are going to write down all the relevant information that you have gathered in relevance to your topic. The next one is that you have to develop a research strategy. So when we say research strategy, this could be your so when we talk about research strategy, this refers to your research design, whether you will go through a qualitative research or quantitative research or analytic or other types of research, because this will serve as your guide in setting out your objectives and priorities in research. The next one, the next process, this is also very important. You have to evaluate your sources. Check the quality and credibility of your sources you will use in your study. Consider the authority, which may include the author and the publisher, date of publication, and purpose or intention of the author of the material. So I'm going to give you an example later on how you will evaluate your research, your resources or your sources, and how you will write them. The next one is that you have to write and revise your paper. Check the contents of your paper and make sure that the contents are in line with your chosen topic and problem statement. Of course, as I was saying a while back, all of what you have written in your research, all of the conclusions should be reflected in your problem statement, or that should reflect your problem statement, and of course your topic. The next one is you document your paper. This shows your credibility as a writer, whether the ideas or information are taken from another source or from the author himself or herself. Okay, so this is an example. Sample research output. Define your topic. So what I have given here, what my topic here is all about, the significant effects of access to internet to the efficiency of STA students in answering and submitting their modules. Okay, so this is the example that I have given. Now, in defining your topic, you have to write your problem statement. What are you going to find out in this topic that you have written? So since we are on qualitative research, that we are going to study the topic itself, the nature of the problem. Okay, so in writing your problem statement, number one is you have to identify the profile. I have to identify your profile as students. First question is that who can or cannot access the internet? Okay, so that is my first problem statement, so that I should answer that one during or throughout my research study. Number two, how efficient are the students in answering and submitting their modules if they have or do not have access to the internet? So in here, I am going to differentiate the students or the efficiency of the students if they have or they do not have access to the internet. Okay. And after that, I'm going to find out the significant effects of access to internet to their efficiency or to your efficiency in answering or submitting your modules. So remember, class, that your topic and your statement of the problems are very important because all of what you are going to write in your research should reflect these ones. The next one is that you are going to make an outline. So in your research, you will only focus on chapter 1 and chapter 2. You don't have to write chapter 3 and chapter 4 anymore. So that's why if in your outline for your introduction and your review of related literature, in short, chapter 1 and chapter 2, these are your this should be your outline in structuring. So first, define access to internet. Okay, what is access to internet? What are its advantages and disadvantages? What are the other factors in access to internet? Okay, what happens to a person when he does not have or when he has an access to internet? Okay, so that is what you are going to write in your chapter 1. Ito sample lang to ha. Number 2, define efficiency. Okay, so access, we have two variables here. We have access to internet, we have efficiency. Okay, so this is what we are going to define first. You have to give some background information about your variables. Okay, so the first variable that I have is access to internet. Ano ba ang access to internet? I-define mo yan kung ano yan. Anong mangyayari sa tao kapag may access siya sa internet? Anong mangyayari sa isang tao kapag wala siyang access sa internet? And number 2, define efficiency. Okay, what is efficiency? How can a person have an efficiency? Okay, anong efficiency para sa anong efficiency? Okay, so number 3 is research on possible effects of having or having no access to internet to efficiency in learning. So first, i-define mo muna yung dalawa. What is access to internet? What is efficiency? Sa number 3, dito mo na pagko-comparing kung ano ang posibleng effect ng walang internet at merong internet sa kanilang efficiency in learning. So start from international studies, to national studies, to local studies, and to regional studies. Ito, wag ka muna magko-conclude, okay? Wag ka muna magko-conclude. Maghanap ka muna kung meron studies about this one. So you start from international, all over the world. Kung meron sa abroad ang mga studies na ganito. And then national, you focus on the Philippine setting. Local, on sa Luzon or sa tapos regional, you focus kung meron na region 2. Ayan. The next one is that you have to evaluate your sources. So in evaluating your sources, you have to use the APA format in indicating your sources. So number 1, so here is an example. Okay, so example lang to. This does not exist. Okay, so I'm going to write Nacleo 1997. So Nacleo here is my last name. 1997 is the date of publication. Using TikTok as a supplementary tool in language learning. So this is the subject, or this is the title of my study. Okay. So next is http www.nacleobrightideas.com. So this is your URL. Okay. Next. So that is an example of an APA format. Okay. So next is that you have to write and revise your paper. Check alignment of content to your SOP or what you really want to find out. All right. So I'm going to give you the difference between qualitative and quantitative research later on. So that's for now.